Welcome back everyone to Welstopia. Between episodes I added a little bit of lighting around here. That may change when I get the ceiling up. But what I want to do today is work on the pattern for the edge of the floor, because right now it's a straight line all the way through, and I was thinking of making something a little bit more interesting there. And in my mind, I was thinking of doing a double helix going all the way through, down, and around. This double helix will be made from nether brick and quartz. And the reason why I'm choosing those two substances is because they are from the nether. One is derived from baked netherrack, and the other one is of course mined from quartz crystals, and then you combine them into quartz. So therefore, that's what we're going to be doing here. Now, what we have here is a woven pattern going like this. Well, actually not technically woven, more of a double helix that we're having here. And the idea is that when we're going in this direction, we'll be going from inside to outside. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. First of all, let's get our red bricks here, because here we're moving in this direction clockwise around. So if you're going from the inside to the outside, that will be on the side there. So therefore, if we're going in the other direction, we're going from the inside to the outside. So therefore we've got this then like that. And like that. Good. So that's what we're going to be having. So therefore it'll twist and turn all the way through here. And this is the result. Now it may be a little bit large, I think, for this particular room. I think it might have gone better with a smaller room, but I think it works. And it's the first time I really tried doing anything with a fancier type of floor. Now I do have to figure out what I want to do with the center bits. Actually, I should take this out. Since I went with something a little bit fancier, I decided to take out the original straight line connections that I had over there. Before I decide what to do with these things, because obviously some sort of border needs to be done going from here to here. Maybe it could just morph into what if it just morphs into what I do down on the surface? I mean, in the overworld, meaning something like this. But instead of my usual stone brick that I use on the surface, I use quartz instead, and I could just have these little quarters going that way. And actually, I think that might work. Good. Oops. Did it on both sides. Right. And I could go across like that. And then this comes to whatever this is going to become, because I think that's what we got to handle next. Because we already have something here, though it may do with a little work to make it a little bit fancier. We obviously have our main corridor heading out into Stina Rose's hub. But now I have to think of what am I going to do with these four things? Alright, I have this hub and I have these four corners, but yeah, so what? What am I going to do with it? That needs to be considered now. Before I went on to the other four, I wanted to tweak with this to see if I could come up with something better. And I was really dissatisfied with how I had a stone interface here that was turning into wood at the top and bottom. So I wanted to see what it would look like if I had a wooden entrance. That way we have a little bit of a contrast here with what we have on the walls. And to add a little texture variation, I added the fence there. I am going to need something up above in order to get this to look right. Let's try... How am I going to... Actually, I think if I get up here... Yeah, I can get up there that way. Alright, maybe... Okay, end-rod. Not a good thing to have there. Okay, now we can hit up there. Hit up there. And perhaps... we could do something like that. Well, that wasn't intentional, but maybe that would work after all. Good. Up a little bit like that. Place another one here. And I think here then we could place this. It would need a little bit more here. We'll... Okay! Maybe I shouldn't have panicked. I think I could have stopped that up a little bit easier if I didn't panic there. But at least now I know which direction it's going in, so I can handle that properly. Hopefully that doesn't have more lava on it. Good. Yes, that is one of the dangers of doing stuff in the Nether. Done? Good. Yes, now with that done, let's take care of that. Because we want to be able to see it once we do it. Get rid of all that nether rack. And we want to do the same thing over on this side here. We are going to be wanting a little bit of spruce wood planks. Yeah, we'll put this here. I think we put that one in the... Not there! In the middle! Ah! Right there. Good. Put this one here. Like that. And hopefully that'll do what we intended. Let's have a look at that. Definitely needs that thing that I accidentally placed on the other side to go there also. On the other end, like, let's try this again. How about if we do it like, no, oh, are we only on the halvesies there? Ah! Yeah. Like that. Okay, that's what I wanted. Good. works. And in fact, let's get rid of that. Oh! That's the tough one to put in, right? Now that we have that, I think this should be moved. Because I think that's a bit hidden at the moment. So what if I move this to be like 1, 2, 3? Well, it looks funny not going down all the way. So therefore, I'm going to have to do it like, no, that's even more wrong. That would have to go down with one of, don't I have any chiseled here? Oh, well, we could get a couple of those this way, right? One chiseled block. All right, so we'll put this here. Then we could put this down here. I don't think so. But the lack of contrast before was just as bad. I'll have to, let me think on this one. So I'll put it in there for now, and if I look at this a little bit later and say yuck, then I can always do it in a different way. So let's stick this in here, do this for now, and we come up with something else eventually. Maybe instead of chiseled brick there, maybe if I put this as this. No, that works. Looks like I'm getting progressively worse in whatever I'm doing there. Okay, so we will put this back to what I had just a moment ago. And if something pops up into my mind, then I will try that out. But I think that works for now. I probably need something in the middle there because that is definitely too bland. And if I think it's too bland, then I'm sure that a good builder will think even more so on that. What kind of block to use in there? And of course the answer is no block, but instead that. Maybe that's one too high. Let me drop that down one. No, I don't think I can drop that down. I think that's as low as it's going to go. Well, let's see how that works. I decided to keep it at that height and to use stairs here because I think that actually makes it look better. So therefore, that will be what I will use for each of my 4 directions. So I just need to repeat this pattern on each of the other 4 sides. And I also finished out all of these here, and in the middle here, I think it really blends well on the middle where these sides that I created a little earlier did. And on around here, I decided to add a little bar in the middle of each of those, and I think that makes the pattern there a little bit more interesting. So therefore, I think I got the pattern that I need. So I just need to duplicate this over here and each of the other 3 positions. I made a few tweaks to it so that I'm no longer hugged against the wall there. I decided to put a double stone slab there to hold up the support there. I put this out so that there is a little bit of change in the depth, and I added the quartz there in order to give it a nice color contrast, since that was lacking in the previous version. So I think that looks a lot better. And on these where I don't really have the tunnel yet, I just decided to go a short distance and have a light source at the end. And this will be a holding spot that I will use until I come up with a real use for the other 3 directions. But that takes care of the patterns along the wall and along the entrances that I've got there, which leaves just one more area, and that's going to be the toughest part to tackle, and that is going to be the ceiling. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but I do know that it is going to be the toughest part by far, because we do have to get up there, make all sorts of changes in there, dodged gas, I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be at least 1 or 2 mishaps that we'll have along the way. And we'll have to wait until the next episode before we find out, because we are out of time. So I'll be with you next time, where we are going to try to take care of the ceiling to this place, maybe get it done, and if we do, then we can finally call this little hub done. We'll see that in the next episode of Pineleaf Plays Minecraft Welstopia.